Local leaders are working to implement plans to gradually reopen D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. And we've been hearing a lot about different phases to get businesses and people back to work. Joining me today is Rob Bluey, the spokesman of the National Coronavirus Recovery Commission and the Vice President of Communications at the Heritage Foundation. Thank you so much, Rob, for joining us today. First, just help our viewers understand the role of the National Coronavirus Recovery Commission.
Well, certainly, thank you. The Heritage Foundation decided to create the National Coronavirus Recovery Commission because we wanted to bring together private sector leaders, those who have expertise in medicine, small business owners, those who have experience in government, to make sure that we were putting forward the best recommendations for governors, local leaders, the federal government, and the private sector.
So given that, what should governors and local leaders do to begin reopening America?
Well, we believe it is time to get back to that conversation about restarting our economy, reopening businesses again, but doing so in a smart way that protects the health and safety of the American people. So what does it look like? It probably means it has to happen on a state-by-state and county-by-county basis, using some of the best data and science that we have available. We don't think that we can impose universal testing. So the testing needs to be targeted, content tracing needs to be done targeted as well. And we need to do so in a way that makes sure that the vulnerable in our population are still safe, while those who are healthy and less vulnerable can get back to work.
So, Rob, I'm not sure if you can see it, but while you were talking, we're showing video of restaurants. And that's something that a lot of people are wondering, well, when will my favorite local restaurant be able to reopen? What data point are you guys looking at to indicate that it would be safe for those businesses to reopen?
Yeah, that's certainly something that I'm personally interested in. I know my family is anxious to return as well. So we've got a lot of great restaurants here in the area. And I know that a business leader who's on our commission, Noe Landini, who runs businesses in both Washington and Alexandria, has talked to us about the impact it's had on him. So some of the things that we're looking at is making sure that those businesses, when they do reopen, are doing so in a way that's safe. So probably fewer people in the restaurants, and then using some data like, looking at the region and saying, okay, is Northern Virginia and Fairfax County maybe less susceptible right now than Washington, D.C., letting those local leaders be in a position where they can make that determination, not having it at the state-based level. I think as locally as we can make this, temporary and targeted, focused, is where we need to be.
Right, because the last thing and one of the big concerns is seeing a resurgence of outbreaks, and that would just start the process all over again. What do you recommend to help parents who have kids at home and maybe it's getting to be a bit overwhelming?
Well, it is. I have two kids in Fairfax County schools myself, and it is a challenge. So one of the things that the commission has recommended is that we encourage public schools to take the steps, perhaps in giving parents the resources that they need through education savings accounts. And that would mean funding those accounts, letting parents use them for online resources, textbooks, maybe hiring tutors to supplement some of the work that teachers might be giving them. It is a demand on parents. We recognize that right now, and we want to make sure that they have all of the resources they need so their kids can keep learning.
All right, and best of luck to you and your two kids as well. I know it can be challenging, but we'll get through this. Thank you for your time, Rob. We'll be sure to post this interview on WJLA.com. Allison?